Alright, folks. Don't think this will be a long one. I'm just in a parking lot here, going to the grocery store. And I was just thinking for myself, how if I had the notion or the idea, if I carried the idea that most people are uh, evil in a way, most people are self-motivated, most people are indifferent to other people's suffering, most people are superficial, or most people are deceitful. Most people are manipulative, whatever it might be. With that kind of intention, that kind of idea, I'm telling you, of so many of my situations, I wouldn't have to have gotten in like to such uncomfortable and compromising and insulting and complicated and heart-wrenching situations in my life. And you say, well, that's so negative view to have on people. And I'm saying, well, is it not true? To a large degree, is it not true that we live in a matrix world where most people are unconscious, most people are disconnected from the divine source, most people don't know the difference between good and evil? They say, well, that's such a large statement, that's such a generalization. And it might be, that most people hearts are closed and are deceived. It might be, but that way, at least I'm not giving people the benefit of the doubt when, for example, I'm signing a lease, you know, or I'm renting a place. Before I rent the place, like I rented a place from a friend of mine, and I thought to myself, like, it's not so necessary to take photos of the place to see how it was before I moved in. It was a little cottage, like, what's the difference or something like that. And I've known the guy, we went to the same school as each other, he's a year above me, I was renting his cottage. We weren't good friends, but we knew of each other. I thought, what's the difference, I didn't take pictures. And it came back to bite me because there was a problem before I moved in. There was one of the previous tenant had, punched a hole through the back of the door in the bedroom, which I didn't even see when I moved in, like for the first few. And then I did see it, and I didn't even mention about it because I wasn't bothered about it. But he wanted to charge me for it, and I thought, if I had gone in there knowing what kind of character, knowing the potential that he was going to charge me for this, then I would have taken a picture of it. I would go through so many of the agreements that I sign. I mean, to a large degree, whatever it is, I will try and find out, whatever it is, any kind of business that I've been employed before. People were paying me like, oh no, for the first 2 months we're going to pay you a minimum salary to just see your dedication. After the third month that I was there, put in the time, the effort, I had my own customers, they said, no, we're still going to give you another 2 months or something like that, right? Had I had known on a good chance that these people after 2 months were not going to improve my salary, were just going to take advantage of me, had I put in so much effort, care, concern, trust in them, or maybe I didn't even have a contract, I didn't even have it signed with them. Should have had them have it signed in paper. But then even so, that doesn't even really work nowadays, because what you're going to do, say, oh, you signed, and on paper. This is, so what? So it's just a signature, I mean, most people have no idea when they get married how complicated it is to get divorced, and what divorce is about. They go in willy-nilly, they go in naively to a large degree, because it's all about the romance, it's all about the love, it's all about the, starting a family together, it's congratulations, it's celebrations, whatever it is, Most people have no idea. Like, the expense of it, the emotional strain of it, and you'll say, well, what is the alternative? Okay, that's just an idea. I mean, you can say about, I don't know, most people trust their doctors, Most people think that doctors are moral or ethical. Most people think, and now more people are saying, oh, government's not so much, ethical or moral or, out for our best interest. Politicians aren't, lawyers aren't. Majority of people aren't. The plumber who comes to give you a quote, the car you take your car to the car mechanic, you're going to be ripped off. You are going to be ripped off. It's just a given, right? But okay, so like I've said before, in car mechanics we make an exception, like you're going to be ripped off. But you're going to be ripped off in family relationships, in friendships, so much of the time, right? Business associates, whatever it is. Because that's the kind of people you're working with. We walk around like we all think, we all human beings, and we all need to get along on the planet, whatever it is, and we care for one another, but we don't. It's all an act. It's an absolute act. And so one of my points I wanted to say, so that approach to life would have definitely helped me out, right? And I don't think it's been negative. I'm just saying, you're swimming with the sharks here. You're swimming with the sharks, and so I don't think it will be negative. I think it'll just be honest. I think it'll just be authentic. This is what you're dealing with, right? You're dealing with people that are going to deceive you, going to manipulate you, whatever it is. Like whether it's just the bakery who's trying to sell you the stale bread or something like that, or the you can't check all of this out, but don't be surprised. The vegetable guy sells you your fruits and veggies, and he turns the bad ones in facing in the packet of oranges, so you don't see it until you get home. And things like that. And we can't be surprised. Sometimes it's just an error. It's not intentional. But what I'm saying is that it's like there is so much in this world that we can't obviously be cautionary of all the time, because you just want to leave your house. It's not about fear, folks. It's not about fear. It's about dotting your I's and crossing your T's, and just knowing what you're getting yourself involved in here. Get what you're getting. And not everybody's like that. But I would say, like I said, 9 out of 10 people are. 9 out of 10 people really are. 9 out of 10 people, I was thinking like this, right? Think about it in your own life. How many people have let you down? Right? Whether it be family, friends, bosses, employees, how many people have let you down? And I can say in my whole life, in all the relationships that I've been in, there's only 2 people in my life that haven't let me down. There's only 2 people in my whole life. I'm saying other people that have let me down in, how do I say it, where it can't be not just once or twice or 3 times. I'm saying their whole being, their whole personality, our whole relationship, is all about them letting me down, right? I mean, just in the person that they are. Now, this can get a bit complicated, because, so what does it mean that somebody lets you down? Somebody lets you down, you see, it's a big conversation, this. But like, somebody lets you down, a father, your father lets you down. He just, hasn't been a father. He just doesn't know how to be a father, right? He just, the more that you might go to your father for help and assistance, the more he tells you how stupid you are for making the mistake, or why can't you work this out for yourself, or something like that. People that are incapable of being there for you, to support you, to empathize with you, to have your back, or whatever it is, to stand with you when times are tough, or whatever it is, to make sacrifices, etc., for your well-being, and whatever it is, healthy sacrifices from their well-being, to not be so self-motivated, to be present with you when you need them, for them to, be an ear for you to listen to, shoulder for you to cry on, and vice versa. I'm saying we all are duty-bound and obliged to not let each other down. Okay, in this life, I think we sign a silent contract in a way that we all are there to not let each other down. And you know what? We live in a world where dime a dozen you are let down. You are let down dime a dozen. People cannot be good friends. They cannot be good companionships. They cannot be good boyfriends or good fathers, good family members. They can't be good uncles, good aunts, good bosses, good colleagues. Whatever it is, they can't. They just cannot be. They don't have the capability. They don't have the capacity to anymore. Okay, they just don't know how to do it. They don't know how to be good, loyal people, trustworthy. I told you, whether it's a builder at your house, whether it's a plumber, whether it's a real estate agent, whatever it might be, a salesperson, your lawyer, your doctor, even something or other. But again, so how many people have let you down, right? And what I've realized is those people, if you can look at somebody in your life, let's say I look at my uncle, And I know that my uncle has let down people in his life. Like, I know that he's let down his children. I know if I ask these children, has your father let you down? They'll say absolutely. And if you can get 2 or 3 more people, I would say even 2 people, 3. Okay, let's just say 3 people that can tell you that. Let's say this. My uncle's name is George. And let's say his 3 children say that George has let them down. You can be sure that George has let every single person down in his life. His wife has let him down. He's let his friends down. He's let his grandchildren down, or whatever it is. And again, what does he mean to let his grandchildren down? Well, by not being a grandfather, by being more of a child, by being more of a, like, I don't know, tells dirty, inappropriate jokes or something like that, He lets them down in his own being because he hasn't grown up. He's let them down in not being able to be somebody who is responsible, mature, a leader, a guider, assisting in life to a certain degree, whatever it is. Can't teach them anything about life. Nothing about life. Can just tell them dirty, inappropriate jokes or something like that. Can whatever it is, not protect them if they're watching a scary movie, a perverted movie or something like that. Can't do any of that. Goes and buys them McDonald's, all the time. Goes and buys them ice creams all the time. I'm saying once in a while, fine, but that kind of grandfather that over spoils, not because he loves his grandchildren, but because he wants to curry favor with them or something like that, right? Something like that. That kind of, kind of grandfather, or like an absentee grandfather, a grandfather that doesn't even know their grandchildren's birthdays or something like that, or whatever it is, let's say you can even say a father or a mother, or, the mother, it's for her mother, her daughter's getting married, but the wedding is more about the mother than it is about her actual daughter. Lets her daughter down. The mother is like more worried about how she's going to look, how pretty her daughter's going to look to show off to her friends or something. Those kind of things. Where it's not a genuine looking out for. It's more. It's about me. It's about whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Friends, your best friend, so-called best friend that lets you down, right? And I don't know. It's your where, for example, they're just so selfish. They're just so selfish that somehow they just don't think of you. They're just thinking of themselves in your time of need or something like that. The betrayal. And yes, mistakes happen, folks. We're not perfect. I understand that. And that's why I'm saying is that over and above everything, when you look at the person and you say their character, are they an individual who are generally are not capable of not letting you down? That's what I'm saying, right? We're going to let each other down often of the time, right? A lot of the time, not intentionally. I'm saying, I'd like to think that I've probably let people down in my life, but not that I'm completely very aware of, right? Probably when I was more unconscious, when I was more unhealthy, when I was more asleep, if you want to say. I'm sure I let people down. I know there was a girlfriend of mine, Sarah Grodzicki. I let her down, right? I let a few women down, I must say, right? In my early 20s. I definitely did, or mid-20s. I did. But if I had to see Sarah today, I don't think I would let her down. I'm saying not being a boyfriend, but being a person, whatever it is. If we could connect or something or other, I could respect her, I could be present with her, whatever it is. Or something or other. So like, how many people, how many leaders, how many gurus have let you down? How many truthers have let you down on YouTube? I'm saying have turned out to be dishonest, that you got your hopes up, or whatever it is. How many celebrities have let us down? Whatever it is. So this is a world, again, if you can appreciate it, that is inherently going to let you down. And the people of this world are inherently going to let you down. And if you have that attitude, right, I think it's a very healthy attitude. I think it's a very realistic attitude. I think it's a very authentic attitude that people don't want you to have. Society and culture, we don't want to have this kind of idea or notion in, to carry this at the back of one's mind, like sort of an, a mythology or ethos or something like that, isn't it? People don't want that, right? Because we're exposing the kind of world that we live in, right? We're exposing the nature of this beast, of how deceptive it is, of how backstabbing it is, how self-centered it is, how pathological it is, how whatever dysfunctional it is. We will expose it, right? We will expose it. We will expose all those people that are so-called with the good intentions. And we will be honest and and so on and so forth. So we will be realistic. And we would know that 9 out of 10 people are trying to pull the wool over your eyes in some way or another. So, that's ghastly. But that's what it is, folks. We're here to bear our crosses. This is a hell on earth in a way. And that's fine. That's not to be depressed about it. That's to understand what the setup is about. If there's sharks in the water, shark-infested water, and you're going to go swimming, know that there's sharks in the water. So, well, then I don't want to go swimming in the water. That maybe helps. But we don't have to be like, all of a sudden we can't talk about it. We can't mention that 9 out of 10 people are trying to pull the wool over your eyes, or being deceitful or pathological or disturbed or dysfunctional or disassociated, whatever it is. Or, we can't talk about that. It's like, what does that mean? How can we talk about it? The system is rigged. The system is pathological. The system is sick. Society is sick. But, you say this, you're being negative. You're being negative. You're not looking at the positive here. Right? You're pulling yourself away from the world. And I'm not saying for myself that I'm not going to go out of my way to help the needy, to be sensitive to the suffering of other people. I'm not saying, yes, I'm bittered in a way. Somebody asked me in a comment before in one of my videos, am I bittered? And there are parts of me that are bittered, and there are parts of you that are bittered. Of course there are. Why wouldn't you be bittered at this world? There's nothing wrong with it. You're not victimizing yourself. I'm not victimizing myself here. Damn it. I'm not victimizing myself. I'm not looking for self-pity or for, oh, woe is me. I'm not looking at that. I'm simply looking at the situation at hand. I get very frustrated about that. Well, you're playing a victim, or something or other. You're being negative. You're pulling it back from the world. You're looking at everybody like, I'm not talking about that. I still have empathy. I still have sensitivity for others. I'm not indifferent to the other people suffering. I'm not at all. I go out of my way to help others, to be kind, to be gentle, to be sensitive where I can. It's still my obligation, my responsibility, right? To be open-hearted. But at the same time, screen it. Check it out. Don't let your guard down. Don't give people the benefit of the doubt for being good people. That's what I'm saying. Do not allow yourself to do that. It's absolutely dangerous to do. You're setting yourself up to be taken down. When I moved onto the farm in 2011, right? If I had this idea that the people on the farm, right, were pathological and the villagers were desperate individuals, I wouldn't have opened myself up as like I did. And I would have saved myself from so much trauma, from so much torment. And I didn't, because I was for the people. I was self-sacrificing. I was good-hearted in a way, but it wasn't the best intentions, but it was in a way, because I thought people were my friends, and they weren't my friends. Can I tell you something? When I was living on the farm, there was a guy named Bruce, right? Absolute highly dysfunctional person. I can't explain to you how broken this individual was. I just can't explain to you. And he was probably in his mid-30s at the time. I can't tell you how dysfunctional this guy was on so many levels. Like, you'd listen to the one song, that song, Katy Perry, I think it is. If you very, very much... sorry, I can't sing. I don't know if it's Katy Perry, but it's like if you type of thing. And he would listen to it for hours and hours and hours, just playing it over and over again. And he would live in this barn where the horses were, and in this barn it was pitch dark, and he used to live in the dark. He wouldn't come out during the day. He'd only come out at night. And he had knives everywhere, like if you came in, unannounced or something like that. He was just an horrific kind of guy. He was just, I can't tell you, scary as hell. And I actually thought when I moved into the farm that he stood up for me on something or other. He didn't actually stand up for me. He was actually trying to line his own pocket, which I never saw before. I might have spoken about this, I'm not sure. For the first time in my life, that was in 2011, so now it's 9 years ago. I was about 30 years old. It took me 30 years in my life, where I felt that somebody was standing up for me. A male figure was standing up for me. A male figure. And I was wrong about that. And so, to this day, I cannot tell you that I have felt where people have stood up for me. Whatever that means, or had my back. My mother's had my back. That's it, at times. But nobody has had my back. In 39 years, nobody has had my back. So you tell me what kind of world we're living in. What type, okay, maybe the world that I'm living in. You tell me the type of world that I'm living in. When I honestly can say that, right? I can honestly say that I haven't felt one person in that sense that has stood up for me. Not one family member of mine that I can recall. There is something that comes to my mind now of my older brother, Danny, who spoke to a principal once, and because he was, really giving me a hard time, and that's about it. But that's about it. Nobody else. So you tell me what kind of world this is. You tell me what kind of civilization we're living in. You tell me what kind of family tribe unit we're living in here or something like that. Do me a favor. So when you come along and say to me, oh, you're being negative or something like that, you're being withdrawn, you're not being love and light or something like that, that really pisses me the hell off. Because again, you're just somebody who's indifferent to my suffering, you're delusional, and you're trying to gaslight me. And whatever it is, and that's the problem, is that we're not prepared to be courageous. So we look at this world as if it's just Hannah Montana kind of style, if it's just so innocent, and we're just such sweethearts to one another, and it's only the Hitlers and the Stalins and the Maos and the the Genghis Khans or something like that are the problem people, whatever it is, the Goebbels or something or other. You don't realize it's man, it's you. You're the tyrant. You're the deception. You're the lie. So I'm not fond of people. I don't really like them. Which is obvious to say. There are still good people out there, there's no question about it. But there are just so few. That it's 1 out of 10, if that. So just bear that in mind, folks. And again, not to be hysterical about it, but just to be honest and mature about it, for crying out loud, right? Just to be realistic. Not to be in la la land or something like that. Don't think that a shaman is a genuine shaman. I'm yet to find a genuine shaman, and I've met quite a few. Yet to find a genuine guru. Yet to find so many of these people that I've put my trust in and faith in and my money in and whatever it is, and found out, oh my word, you're just a broken individual with some kind of front that this is who you are. No, you're not. Very, very seldomly have I met honest, authentic, well-rounded people in my own life. And they've run monasteries, and they've done yoga retreats, and they've, dietitians. I'm saying in my own personal existence, face to face. Whatever it is. That at the end of the day, haven't really been more about the money. Haven't been more about the worship that they're looking for. Dime a dozen. I'm sorry, I got very, very few successful or stories I'm saying that have, whatever it is. Do me a favor. Health shops that I've even gone to, or people that I've spoken to, all about the money, honey. All about the money. Not the intention of what they're doing. Whatever it might be. Not genuine. You come across, you think, oh, they're holistic. Oh, they're selling crystals. Oh, they're selling, incense. They're selling oils. They're selling things for to pure, what do you call it? To light, Jesus, man. Sage and to smudge sticks and whatever it is. Astrologers. Okay, I did meet a good guy. I did meet one good guy, but otherwise, it's all about the money, honey. It's all about the money, And that's frustrated me so many times, and I've come into situations where I can't read it because I trust that, you're somebody of the light. You're somebody that's genuine, right? You're somebody that cares, and you're somebody that's doing good. You're not trying to rip off people. And I'm like, no, no, no. You're just a scam artist. You're just trying to rip people off, or whatever it is. It's just... Just do me a favor. That's my experience, right? And that's my truth. And this is the reality that we live in. And it's a positive message because it's an empowering message. It's saying, it's positive because it's realistic, it's honest, it's mature, it's reasonable, it's not delusional. And for me, it's authentic, and that's my truth. And it's harsh, folks, but that's the reality. It's bloody harsh. It's no joke. It's no picnic, like I've said before. I continue thinking that it's a picnic. Look what happened to Jesus, one of the most powerful stories that there is in the whole of history. Here was this man, the Son of God. Kingdom of heaven lives within you, The great, I'm looking at it as a story, in a way. And what do the people do? They hung him up by the cross. They nailed his... it's a story. I'm saying I take it as the story. They put nails through his hands and through his legs, and they hung him up, and they whipped him, and they spat on him, and whatever it is. I'm sure they pissed on his grave or whatever, And here was a man who just came from love, compassion, empathy, understanding, with a good word. And look what the people did to him, So there you go. And that's what you can expect. You wanting to be a Jesus, a Christ figure? You want to connect with your Christ inside, You know what you're up against, baby. You bear your cross in this world. The savages that are out there, the vultures that are out there, whatever it is. Alright, folks, I gotta get going. We'll chat soon. Take care and be well.